recently US troops killed in drone strikes named. It's, very, very upsetting. Because all these people call for war, but yet I didn't see them going to the front line themselves or letting their children or their children's children, go to the front line. Politicians, that is. Now, we also have the Fed meeting coming up, in relation to interest rates. Now, some people may think that, the geopolitical war footings and interest rates don't affect crypto as much. We'll find out over time because, Bitcoin halving coming up. I think someone said the INC inflation rate also changing, which is on a daily, but that's another thing. And so forgetting about that, I want to cover that, but I don't think anyone in crypto is overly interested in that. And also the title of this particular stream is DeFi 2024, which is crazy when you think about it, because some of these stakes that were started going back to Hex are now about, pushing 5 years old. That's pretty impressive. Now, I'll just pull up Twitter. Oh, sorry, X, Elon's X, because everyone's addicted to Elon's X's now. Elon's X, I should say. But, let's have a look. Can I see my live streams? Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to locate all my live streams in one place, because at the moment, you can't seem to do it. For instance, you have your live stream. It might appear in your timeline, but it won't centralize where you want to look at it. Now, anyway, moving on for interest rates. This one here, I don't know if you guys covered it. Now, if you're not familiar with, I guess the Richard Heart ecosphere or Pulse Chain's ecosphere, because that's the native chain L1 that it runs on. It's worth looking into, especially after watching this particular video. Some things I noted myself were PulseX, the DEX, functioning versus, Uniswap, the issues we're seeing with Uniswap, even MetaMask and Infura, it's tracking people's IP addresses, not tracking, but, listing them. Uniswap claiming to be decentralized whilst actually delisting, although there was a bit of a delay for me here in Australia, but they delisted some jurisdictions, the Hex token on Ethereum, and then later on they delisted it for some Australians as well. Again, I haven't traveled around to every single country in the world, so I don't know the state of the other places, but that's what I was hearing. And then we also see code itself coming under attack, was it Tornado Cash that I can think of? More recently the video came out, I think Snowden was even pushing it, pointing out that, code, maybe you want to protect code, I don't know. Maybe you want to protect free speech, I don't know. Personally, I agree with that, but who am I to say what's right and what's not right? Now, the next thing is this here. So going through the particular older video, what I found more interesting was comments were off, so I didn't get distracted by comments, and actually went through the content, listened to it, and comparing Ethereum. I've got some notes here, some stuff I want to cover. I've covered MetaMask, I've covered Uniswap, covered code itself. Now, in that particular stream, I did like the idea of things being up 1000% from that point in time, which was already, I think Hex was at 10% they mentioned, so imagine a 10x from here, and then etc, etc. That would be pretty awesome. But I think DeFi needs to take a step back and pay respect to everyone who's built stuff. Now, every L1 that is, because we've seen, well, when I see things like PulseX running on Pulse Chain flawlessly, being able to long and short the product on something like Fame.io, and not just being able to long or short it. I just need to check if I've doxed my address here. Don't think I have. Also cool, the Pulse Chain domains come out, but I'm like, oh, I really want to dox an address for the sake of doxing it. I don't know, people might want to hoard them and try and sell them. Hopefully they make a profit. They might not. But back to what I was saying. If you go on to other products, such as, I don't know, oils trading, oils futures, I don't know, CFDs for oil, and you want to trade like long and short and you can leverage it, compare that to, this here, for instance, you have Hex USD, Hex US dollar price. This is directly reflected in real time on Pulse X, also on the chain L1 Pulse chain, but also if you go to Dex Screener, you can actually see in real time the buy and sells. This is why I like to call it the cleanest PRC20, I guess, in the world, the universe. I'm not sure aliens are hooking up with our blockchains just yet, but you can see literally on chain in real time. Now, why is that? It should always be like that, right? But I have not seen this. Now you could say, oh, well, it's a fork of Aave, and you could do the same maneuvers with Aave. However, in the previous stream I was just talking about, there was the issue of the. I'm not an expert in MEV bots and how they could affect, but I still remember being in. I don't know if you guys remember that old Hex trading chat. If you're new to crypto, this may not make sense, but basically there was an open group, and it provided very useful information. And I still remember being in the group and making a trade. I think it was basically in real time, and then someone coming in and saying like, who just did that? Like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, well, it might have been me. Why? And it was like, because you just copped an insane amount of slippage, and also looked like possibly, I can't remember if it was an MEV bot attack or sandwich bot. I think it was just slippage. And I think the slippage was set incorrectly. You know, if you set your set your slippage incorrectly, then you can get wrecked. So that was kind of cool, having someone in the chat who actually cared about the other people, making trades, all voluntarily. No one had to do anything, right? So that's why I think decentralization is important, and that brings me back to Pulse Chain, whereby everything, like I said, everything is on chain. The validators are completely decentralized, although maybe someone owns more than one. You could argue that's not decentralized enough, but I'm pretty happy. If you have a look at the map, I think you can pull it up here. And this GoPulse website is personally my favorite, simply because it has leagues, gas, validators. It's got basically everything I need to a degree to be able to navigate something that's on Pulse Chain that's very relevant. We see here the map I'm looking for. Show globe. Now, if you ask me, this does appear to be pretty decentralized. Now, I need to update my computer because running multiple virtual machines on it doesn't help it. Whoa! It did not like that. Hang on. I don't know if you can hear that. I just got the maddest feedback from my computer. It just went into overdrive. Alright, nah, it's still all good. I did not like that at all. Alright, I'll have to have a look at that later. But if you look at trading, CFDs, say for instance oil, to me, it's pretty hard to go. You can say this market, is a bit more immature than the oil's markets, contract for difference. But if you were to go in and try and use any platform, I think at one stage I was using multiple platforms, trading the same instrument and trying to just to see if the prices were the same, right? Now, with something like Pulse Chain, now that, like I said, maybe Aave, but you have issues with slippage and bots and things like that. Not so much on Pulse Chain I've seen so far. Not so much slippage, but I'm not sure if there is any MEV bots on Pulse Chain, or if there's maybe MEV bot protection. I'm not sure. Like I said, I think there's another aggregator, PTS, that basically, I think it offers that, but yeah, like I said, not an expert in that area. But what I'm seeing is you can make a trade, you can see on chain what is going on. You can see the price when it moves up, moves down. Why is that? Go on chain, have a look between the pair, actually physically see and then go on chain and say, oh, look, that price went down. There was a red candle here. And it was because there was a sale of X amount, you know. I've actually been going through, and it's if you have the time to do this, it's pretty interesting to see the daily volume. Now, I just quickly did a quick eyeball check, I guess you'd call it. I'm not even sure you'd call it a check, really. But it was something like, I think I saw about 50,000, 60,000 maybe of sales, like red. Like, I was counting larger ones. So, I don't know if there was like a shit ton of ones that appeared that were sort of, would add up to another 1,000. So I might have been out by a bit. But I didn't actually manually add it up. But if you have a look at these figures in one, like a 24-hour period, it's like how much is actually selling and how much is actually buying. You know, more buys equals price go up. But there's not all that much selling going on. And there seems to be a little bit more buy pressure. So if you wanted to take advantage of that, maybe, you know, you might, I shouldn't be encouraging trading here, but if you're interested, just have a look on chain and see in real time. Like, we can see, oh, look, someone just made this buy. Go have a look at the address. It reflects near instantly on platforms like fame.io. Now, I haven't looked at anything else. I don't think there's anything else out there that offers this. There is another way. I think you can short or long. I won't go into that because I can't recall that from memory. But this one I can. Basically, what I'm looking at is you can leverage if you hold, you know, 100 hex, well, whatever amount is you're comfortable with. You'd have a look and basically go in, place a trade. You might want to do leverage. You can have a look. It says entry price, the liquidation price, at what point you get liquidated. You know, and it's very interesting to see it all on chain with no fuckery, with no centralized exchange, no middleman fuckery. Because what I'm trying to say is, if you go back to the other platforms, like I said, I'm using multiple platforms, and basically the you know, you can see the price differences, but I couldn't go in and have a look at, you know, who I'm going up against or who is buying. I couldn't see the order books basically of other platforms that are hooked into this network, whatever network they use. I could see vaguely the order books on the platforms I was using, but I couldn't see, you know, if there was anything else going on. So this is why I find blockchain so useful, because in this particular instance, I can see very little interference by other, not operations, but other, you know, middlemen. There's no other side exchange, centralized exchange engaging with this, because they would have to go through Pulse Chain and would have to reflect. Now, if you wanted to absolutely murder the price on here without someone knowing, maybe you can do it anonymously, yeah. But what I'm saying is, you'd have to purchase the actual token to then be able to sell it down. I can't see any other way of that taking place. So that's all. Basically, the ability to long and short, the data available, the DEX and Pulse chain itself, it needs to be, it's worth looking into if you like on-chain data, you like the ability to monitor prices in real time and have accurate prices, you know, because a lot of other stuff out there, there's a bit of appears to be fuckery going on. Now, you could argue, oh, it's a whales game and only whales can move the price. Yeah, but you know, you can see it on chain when it happens. If you see a big, large dump, and then, okay, there's no one else trading, okay, but then you can see that, you know, there's another couple whales over here with big bags, they might dump, yeah. But that's all the calculations there is. You know, when miners are going to be burnt and new tokens are going to come into the market. So it's well worth a look. Now that's all I got. Yeah, like I said, crazy shit going on in the world. But thank God I found this particular chain, because it's reducing the middleman, and crypto was not designed for middlemen, you know. All right, free speech signing out.